So where do you get your inspiration? Is it from everything you see, or what types of things inspire you?
It's basically from things I see and things I, at night, you know, when I stare at my ceiling, start fantasizing, or things that I would like to do, and then I try to figure out how can I do them best. And so I usually start in paintings, 4, 5, 6 paintings, and then see which way it's going, and then eventually they all end up different, even though the subjects are the same start.
So in drawing, what types of materials do you like to use? Do you have a specific thing you like to draw with, or just anything that's at hand?
Anything that's at hand, but I used to draw with Indian ink and the sepia ink, and that's what the old masters used to do, and I liked that feeling.
Right.
And so I had a little piece of wood or a pencil, and I would cut a little, or the back of a paintbrush, and I would make a little point and start sketching. And I like that line that's different, you know, not just one of the same line.
Right.
So that's what I love to do.
And how do you go from a drawing to a sculpture? Do you work with a small model first, typically?
Yes. If I do a drawing, then I like to do a small model out of cardboard or wood or whatever, just to see what it looks like. And then I put it down and put a lamp against it, casts a shadow, see what it looks like if it's bigger. And then in the shadow I say, oh, it needs a little more this, a little more that, or whatever. And that's basically how I go to a sculpture. My favorite way of doing sculptures used to be years ago just in wax.
And how do you decide? You've got a drawing that you like and you want to interpret it through sculpture. How do you decide what types of materials you're going to use for the sculpture?
Okay, if it's a very delicate, fragile thing, then I use wax and a metal armature, metal inside. If it's something big and heavy, I use clay. So it depends on the subject. So that's, and, you know, I do a lot of stuff in all kind of materials. When I first came here in Florida, I went to the beach. I found pieces of wood and trunks of things that I started carving and doing things with. And I had them cast after we're done in bronze. If I didn't like it too much, I started adding wax to it to build sections that it didn't have before. So that's kind of how it works. And you know, it's the nice thing for me is I've been doing art classes for the museum for how many years? 45 years or something like that. And I love doing it because I was a disaster child. I had so many wonderful instructors that tried to help me. And maybe I learned something. Maybe I can be of help to other students. And I think that worked for a long time. So that's kind of how you do it.
You're famous for your horse paintings. And
well,
so where did that inspiration of the horse come from?
Well, my ancestors, at least from my mother's side, were Hungarian, Romanian. And then my grandfather told me that at night before I went to bed there was beautiful stories on wild horses in the puszta. And I hated to go to school every day. I thought, oh my God, I'm Hungarian, I should be in the puszta, I shouldn't be in the school here. How to get out of here? And then it turned out after he passed away, he had never spent a day of his life in Hungary. So it was, he made a good story. So that's kind of, so in the meantime I'm just Mickey Mousing around here. And,
tell me about some of your favorite, who inspires you as far as an artist? Did you have early inspiration, certain artists?
Yes, I had a very early inspiration by Marino Marini, who is an Italian sculptor, painter, and who worked very abstract, very simple. And there was a show in a museum in Rotterdam, in the Netherlands, and when I saw that show, I was stunned. You know, I just couldn't believe. But somehow I felt this is something I can do things with. Then I ended up at the academy in Amsterdam, and I was dyslexic. But because of that, I had a lot of extra help, and I finished the academy, and it was great. And there I found out that there are more artists than Marino Marini, Henry Moore. Our school, we had a week excursion to Paris, to Zatkin, to his studio, Sculptor Zatkin. And I loved everything. I was just so eager to try things and to change things and go from a starting point from something you see, not to copy it, but to go. So I was being fed, basically, you know. It was just, and I just couldn't stop working and painting and doing stuff. And then it became, you know, after the academy, this time that you start thinking of how you're going to make a living. I said, well, I never make a living. I don't know how. But I used to love to be in zoos and be around animals, so I could also be a zookeeper and clean animal mess. And then, but by being in a zoo, I started every day drawing and sketching, and then I realized so many people that stopped by in the daytime, and they were, oh, I like a sketch. Do you sell them? Yeah, for that guilders, 5 guilders is like let's say $5. Mm-hmm. But for days it had something like 100 guilders. You know, it was a lot of money.
Wow.
So I figured I don't have to worry about my future. I can, if I keep doing this the rest of my life. Mm-hmm. And then I had this girlfriend that went to the academy in Amsterdam with me, and she said, "But you cannot keep doing this your whole life. You have to do." Well, I guess you're right, you know. But so that's how I basically started getting a little more relaxed about income and surviving. And you know, I had a father who was very brilliant, and I thought, what he does, I can never ever do. And I was very worried about my future. And so that's.
In your first show at the museum, you were, did you, I think you won Best of Show, or?
Yes, they asked me when I became a member if I wanted to become a member. I said sure, and I thought they wanted to see my work, but no, $20 made me a member. So well, that's easy, and for $20, mm-hmm. and I like to do that. So after that, they asked me, "Do you have work?" I said, between my ears, if I have a place where I can do it, that will be wonderful. And there was one guy that had a factory here making ceramic dolls. That if you do me a painting behind my bar, you can use all the tools and equipment in my place. So I started using his welders and stuff. It was great. It was fantastic. And then I made 2 life-size abstract horses. A little inspired by Henry Moore and you know, people from artists from that age, that time, and but that gave me the best in show. And I think because of it was so big they couldn't walk around it, so that was probably the good thing about it. But and that was the start. Then he asked me if I wanted to do some classes. I said, well, I'd like to, but I don't have a work permit, and how to, you know. Oh no, we can take care of that. So the museum made sure that there was they got me a work permit, 5 years, mm-hmm. and another 5 years, and then after 10 years, it was only an H1, H2. You know, that was all they gave you, or I had to get a green card. So well, if you give you a green card, you can get away. Well, you don't realize if I don't get a green card, I won't be here. Right. And I think at that time, I think you were one of my students then. I think I did a decent job, enough for them to want to keep me. So, and I enjoyed it. It was really made me feel very good, especially since I was a disaster everywhere else. Well, at least it was good for something. And so that's kind of how it started.
So we're looking forward to your exhibit at the gallery. It will be a combination of your paintings, your sculpture, and your drawings. And we're very excited.
Well, thank you. I look forward to it. I wish I could have shown more bronze sculptures, because most of my European pieces are over there. And I don't have much here, because I just had a show there, and but that is what it is. But I have lots of little things. I've been known for big paintings, very big ones. And I still prefer to do that, but it's not very practical. You have to be commercial too. So people, oh, that's nice, but my house is not big enough for the walls. And but I still like to do it, and I have never been commercial. And then it turned out that the big paintings sold better than the smaller ones, because some people have bigger houses, very nice upscale. So I was very lucky to run into the arts center, Brevard Art Center at that time, and run into a fantastic group of people that helped me, fundraisers and things like that. So I donated a lot of work for fundraisers.
You have. I'm aware of that.
And so that was great, and it was, I enjoyed doing that. At least it made me feel good that I was good for something. And then I had a lot of people going through the classes over the years, maybe 1,000 or maybe even more probably.
Maybe.
Yeah. So, but I loved every minute of it. It was just great to feel that you're doing something that one likes. And the best part was for me, it was a beautiful chance to express myself and practice. Because every time I had to read one day faster, if I was helping somebody, how the heck can I do this? Or how does this work? So I better practice. Sleepless night, because I always felt I had to perform. Oops. I paint kind of abstract, and in the beginning, and then it eventually starts coming together, and you can see what it's going to be. It's I've never painted completely unrecognizable, unless there's a little painting over there someplace, just cubistic thing stuff. What I'm trying to do is get like a wind blowing feeling through here. And don't ask me what kind of flowers they are, I have no clue. They're just, I train my brushes and they go their own way. And I don't have much input on that. And this is just the beginning, and then I'll probably go back with 3 more layers. You may not even see much of this, and I paint very heavy because I like a little bit of texture in there. Try to show a little bit of a flower in one of them, but you have been doing yourself great. You have wonderful shows in the 5th Avenue Gallery, and Bill has done great for himself. So it's.
Well, you've been a great inspiration to a lot of local artists as well as a commercial teacher.
Oh, thank you. But the thing was that I enjoyed it. I never intended to stay every 5 years. Well, should I stay or should I go back to Europe? And well, another 5 years, and another 5 years. Now, almost 50 years later, I'm still here, and I love it, every minute of it. So it's just a wonderful environment. And nice people, that's, and I'm not just saying that to be nice, I really mean it. If it wasn't, I wouldn't have been here that long, let's put it that way.